Well, I think the Ohio Fairness Act is very much who we are as people of faith and who we are as people in Ohio. I don't know many people who argue that people should be discriminated against in their work or in their housing because of their gender identity, their sexual orientation, etc. That's just not who we are as Ohioans. Well, my name is Reverend Virginia Lohmann Bauman, and I am the senior pastor of St. John's United Church of Christ in Columbus, Ohio. I am also ordained in American Baptist Churches, USA. I have been in ministry about 15 or 16 years now, and I also practice law in the city of Columbus for 15 years. I think the Ohio Fairness Act allows us to move forward throughout the state in less of a patchwork fashion and more of a unified fashion to identify that as Ohioans, no matter your faith tradition, we all agree that we are children of God and that we should be treated equally. What I would say to a faith leader who objects to the Ohio Fairness Act or is somehow worried about what that might do to their faith community. We are very fortunate that the First Amendment of the United States Constitution and Article 1 of the Ohio Constitution already provide the freedoms that we need as faith leaders to practice our faith unfettered and unrestrained. There is not a church anywhere that is forced to marry a gay couple, for example. Churches have autonomy in those kind of decisions. And even though marriage equality is the law of the land, there is no one who can force a pastor, for example, to marry a gay couple if that's not the policy or beliefs of that church. So we are very fortunate both in Ohio and in our country that codified in our constitutions is the freedom from religion and the freedom of religion. But in nowhere in our state constitution or our federal constitution are we allowed to impose our beliefs on other people. So fortunately, I am not forced to wear a skirt to work, or I might lose my job or my housing because somebody else's faith tradition requires that the women wear skirts. You know, you can kind of stretch that example even further. If you can think of restrictions in other faith communities that are not imposed on everyone in employment or housing. And I think that's what's happening here with restrictions and discrimination that's occurring on the basis of gender identity, sexual orientation, etc., is a misunderstanding of our constitutional protections, a misunderstanding of the scope of the practice of faith, and it's fundamentally a misunderstanding of who we are as people of God and as Ohioans.